U.S. donated howitzers are destroying Russian tanks in the raging battle for Severodonetsk, proving the effectiveness of Western-made weapons in eastern Ukraine. A video released by the Ukrainian military depicts artillery fire destroying a tank and 2 BMP infantry fighting vehicles from a distance of up to 25 kilometers. In the Luhansk region's eastern city of Severodonetsk, artillerymen of the 81st Airmobile Brigade were operating the United States-donated, British-manufactured M777 howitzer. The United States has already donated more than 100 howitzers to Ukraine, and the latest $1 billion in military aid includes 18 additional howitzers, tactical vehicles to tow them, and ammunition. With the recent admission by the Ukrainians that they are losing 100 men per day, primarily due to the concentrated fire of the superior Russian creeping artillery barrages, potent NATO weapons are imperative for the smaller nation to remain in the fight and defend its territory. In a separate video released by Ukrainian forces last month praising the much-beloved U.S. howitzers, the inscription, "From America with Love," is visible on the barrel of one M777. "My guys know the value of artillery," Commander-in-Chief of the Ukrainian Armed Forces Valery Zaluzhny said in the video description. When equipped with the M982's caliber precision-guided munition, the M777 has a maximum range of 25 miles and can hit a target within 10 yards. This range surpasses that of Russia's primary artillery systems, the 2S-19 self-propelled howitzer and the D-30 towed guns. The fiercest fighting in Ukraine is centered around the now largely destroyed population center of Severodonetsk, which straddles the Donets River. Moscow has been attempting to seize the 100,000-person city for several weeks. As Russia advances in the Donbas, Ukrainian troops holed up in a chemical plant in Severodonetsk have been ordered to lay down their arms and surrender. After taking refuge from a Russian bombardment, more than 500 civilians and an undetermined number of soldiers are now trapped in the Azot factory. Now, the fiercest battles are occurring near Severodonetsk. The governor of the eastern Lugansk region, Sergei Gaidai, stated on Telegram that Russia does not have full control over the city. In neighboring villages, such as Tashkiska and Zolot, there are arduous battles. They are attempting to break through but failing, he said, adding that Ukrainian forces were battling Russians from all sides. Gaidai stated that there was more destruction at the Azot chemical plant in Severodonetsk, where 568 people, including 38 children, were sheltering. He also reported that Lysychansk, a Ukrainian-controlled city located across a river from Severodonetsk, is being heavily shelled. Residents of Lysychansk prepared for evacuation. "We are leaving everything behind and moving on. No one can survive such a strike," said history teacher Alla Bor as she waited with her 14-year-old grandson and son-in-law Volodymyr. "We are giving up everything and leaving our home. We left food for our dog. It is cruel, but what can be done?" In light of the tense military situation in the east, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky hailed Brussels' support for Kyiv's EU bid as a historic achievement. On Friday, the European Commission led a powerful show of solidarity by endorsing Ukraine for EU candidate status, a move that could add Ukraine to the list of countries seeking membership as early as the following week. All 27 leaders must endorse Ukraine's candidacy at a Brussels summit next week, but the leaders of the bloc's three largest members, France, Germany, and Italy, gave their unequivocal support during a highly symbolic visit to Kyiv this week. Even though EU membership could be years away, Zelensky referred to the decision as a historic achievement, and stated that it would certainly bring our victory closer against Russia. Ukrainian institutions are resilient even in times of war. Zelensky said in a video address that democratic practices in Ukraine have not lost their potency. Friday, the president of the European Commission, Ursula von der Leyen, wore a striking outfit in the national colors of Ukraine, blue and yellow. "We are all aware that Ukrainians are willing to die for a European future," she stated. "We want them to live with us to fulfill the European dream." In the meantime, Russian state television broadcast social media videos of 2 U.S. veterans who went missing last week while fighting alongside the Ukrainian army, claiming they were captured by Russian forces. Friday, U.S. President Joe Biden stated that he did not know where Alexander Druk and Andy Wynn were after their families lost contact with them. The missing Americans, including a third identified as a former U.S. Marines captain, are believed to be among an undetermined number of mostly military veterans who volunteered alongside Ukrainian troops alongside other foreigners. Nonetheless, Ukrainian civilian volunteers continue to enlist, with a group conducting military exercises on Friday in fortified positions abandoned by Russian forces in Bucha, a city synonymous with war crimes attributed to Moscow's forces. The majority of those present are not soldiers. The majority of them have never held a weapon before today, a sergeant identified as Ticha told AFP. Moscow has warned Western nations against intervening in its ex-Soviet neighbor, claiming that it invaded to denazify and demilitarize a country that had become too close to the West. Putin stated that he had nothing against Ukraine joining the EU, stating that it was their sovereign decision to join economic unions or not, in contrast to the security risk he sees in Ukraine joining NATO. However, he stated that Ukraine's membership in the European Union would make it a semi-colony of the West. Putin also insisted that the Russian invasion was not to blame for global inflation and grain shortages. Instead, he blamed Western sanctions, which he claimed threatened starvation, primarily in the poorest countries. Moscow then intensified its pressure on its Western allies by drastically reducing natural gas flows in its pipelines to Western Europe, thereby driving up energy prices in regions dependent on Russian gas. Since June 15, France's network provider has not received any Russian gas via pipeline from Germany, and Italy's Eni expects Russian firm Gazprom to have its supplies on Friday. After its morale-boosting victory this year, Ukraine fought on another front for the right to host the Eurovision Song Contest the following year. Kyiv condemned the organizers' decision to relocate the 2023 edition of the world's largest live music festival for security reasons, possibly to the United Kingdom. Culture Minister Alexander Tkachenko of Ukraine stated, "We will ask for a reversal of this decision because we believe we will be able to meet all of our obligations." The European Broadcasting Union, EBU, that organizes Eurovision said it on Friday that, following a full assessment and feasibility study, they had come to the conclusion that it would not be possible to hold the 2023 contest in Ukraine. As a result of this decision, in accordance with the rules and to ensure the continuity of the event, the EBU will now begin discussions with the BBC, as this year's runner-up, to potentially host the 2023 Eurovision Song Contest in the United Kingdom, the EBU statement read. Ukraine has already said it is not happy with the decision and says it believes it will be able to guarantee security for the competition, despite the threat of the ongoing Russian invasion.